Welcome to Car Talk with Travis. A little different view for me today. I'm in the passenger seat. We are in St. George, Utah, and we are out here at the Fall Substance Abuse Conference, and I'm with a really good friend of mine, brother I've known for many years. This is my friend Christian.
Howdy.
So we go back a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
We go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you okay with me saying how?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
So Christian and I met when we went to treatment together in 2009. I spent June, July, August in treatment, and you came in, was it June? End of July? End of June?
End of
like
June.
that?
Yeah.
So, and now we work in the industry. We get to help people. We get to share our stories. Christian and I both. So I just celebrated 25 years. My amazing wife, as your amazing wife Kelly, have stayed with us during our addictions, our recovery. So would you just mind sharing with this amazing audience a little bit of your story?
Yeah. We were just talking before this about most of the people in this early recovery that we see out there out and about, particularly in the recovery community, are young. Travis and I aren't young. And Travis said, how long you been married? And I said, 38 years. He says, plus 25. We don't see that in this industry. Mm-hmm. And my wife will get mad if she sees this, but I tell people a lot of times the reason we're still married is because she's sick. To put up with my bullshit for that long. Can I say bullshit? Was that bad?
No.
Okay. All right. Anyway, here's the deal. Didn't look at recovery until I was around 48. I'm 59 now. And I thank God that Kelly stuck it out. She had divorce papers. I don't know if you knew that. She had divorce papers. The attorneys were calling her saying, you got to sign that. And each time she would say, I will, but I'm going to do it later. And she just held off and held off and held off. And her and I are better together.
Yeah.
We are better together. We have our own struggles, but we communicate better because of the gift of recovery. Last week I had 2 grandchildren born within 4 days. Number 4 and number 5 grandchildren.
That's awesome, man.
10 years ago, if that would have happened and I would have shown up to the hospital, they'd have called the cops. Mm-hmm. Now I get the invite to come and participate and to hold and the gifts of recovery. So I think our message today to me is those of us that aren't 22, might be a little older than that, we got hope, man.
Yeah.
Here we are, Dee and I, spend time in jails, hospitals, and now we have our families. Mm-hmm. And we're blessed and lucky. I get that. Many of you that hear this, not so. But I thank God that I found the doors of recovery. And for me, it was through AA.
Yeah.
And it helped me understand the difference between religion and spirituality and how important spirituality is, where it was more religious for me. Although today I kind of work those intertwine.
So you got to do what works for you. The recovery is different for everybody.
Yeah.
There's not just one. I don't think there's just one right way. Because we see people that continue to relapse or continue to go through this cycle, and it's like we got to change something up. Let's try something different. And I talk to a lot of people when they're like, oh, you've been married this long. I'm like, yeah. We found a way. My wife did the work. I did the work. That's the key. You both have to find a way to do the work, if you want to get through it, and then pass it on to our children to make sure they're doing some work too, because they've got to find that path.
That's interesting to say that. For early on in the recovery process, I'm working my butt off to try and do the work, and Kelly's going, go to a meeting, got to go to a meeting, and it was probably, you'll ask her, but it was probably 2 years into it where she started realizing she needed to work a program.
Yeah. And
our marriage just blossomed in that 3rd year of recovery, where she realized what the program looked like for her and how she could work it and incorporate it every day of her life. And while there is no perfect marriage, I can't believe how blessed we are.
Well, and you just hit it right there. Yours was the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Mine was I want to say 5th or 6th year, because my wife had divorce papers. We had split up for 2 years. She was done, right? She was done. Even though I didn't understand it, but I still had some patterns that was, even though I wasn't using drugs and alcohol, I had some other destructive patterns that were still affecting us. But she hadn't started that real healing process either, of forgiveness and figuring things out. And that's the thing too, is it's like my addiction is caused by me, but it destroys and it takes everybody down with us.
Yeah.
It wasn't my kid's fault. It wasn't my wife's fault. I wasn't using because of them. I was using because I was unhappy and I had no spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing. There was nothing.
The dope was, we say this all the time, the dope was the symptom.
Yeah.
Wasn't the problem.
No.
Yeah, it's fun. And the recovery part has just been a blessing, and particularly with the family. And I know there's people hearing this going, that wasn't their experience, but don't ever lose hope. Things change. My goodness. Divorce papers that never got served. Maybe we should write a book. Divorce papers never served.
Right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Much love. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day. Leave one last comment.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.